This is breaking news out of Indiana, where the primaries were held on Tuesday. Here are the results that we're getting. Despite Nikki Haley dropping out 2 months ago, tonight she's picking up over 100,000 votes in Indiana and 22% of the primary vote in Indiana. Trump has a massive GOP base problem. You see right here with about 72% of the votes in from the Indiana primary election results. Nikki Haley has over 106,000 votes, and this continues to grow, especially when we zoom in on the Indianapolis suburbs. They're holding Donald Trump in the 60% range. And again, Nikki Haley dropped out 2 months ago. Take a look at Boone County, Hamilton County, Marion County. We go to Boone, Donald Trump under 70%. Hamilton, Donald Trump at 66%. Marion County, Donald Trump at 66%. This comes as Donald Trump gave an interview earlier in the day with a local Pennsylvania station, WGAL, where Donald Trump basically said, when it comes to Pennsylvania Nikki Haley voters, 150,000, not a big number. He doesn't seem to care about Nikki Haley voters at all. Donald Trump says, what's their choice going to be anyway? No matter what, they're going to vote for me. This is what Donald Trump said. Play this clip.
Primary, but Nikki Haley attained 16% of the vote. Are you concerned about that number? And what do you say to those voters?
Well, that's a very small number. All of those people are going to come to me because first of all, what's their...
Well, Nikki Haley voters are speaking very loudly, very clearly in Indiana and across all the states in the primaries. I know a lot of corporate media and right-wing propaganda media want to focus on this poll or that poll. By the way, with two recent polls, though, and I don't love talking about polls, two recent polls, ABC Ipsos and Marist, both showing President Biden up with likely voters by 4% and 5% respectively. But I know CNN wants to talk about their poll and this poll. We have statistically significant data across the country in the various primaries where we've seen President Biden exceeding expectations, Donald Trump performing far below expectations, and hundreds of thousands of voters in these various states still casting their vote for Nikki Haley. Recently, when Donald Trump spoke in Wisconsin, he continued to brag about how he beat Nikki Haley. He continues to obsess over Nikki Haley. This is what happened last week when Donald Trump spoke in Wisconsin. Let's take a look.
Even in South Carolina, I visited where, by the way, we beat the governor by a record number, the former governor. They have a great governor there now, actually. But we did.
And remember our reporting from the Pennsylvania closed Republican primary, where there was close to 150,000 voters who voted for Nikki Haley. We're seeing this data in state after state. Remember this moment, though, where a Newsmax host said clearly Donald Trump's having a Nikki Haley problem to Donald Trump's new press secretary. Remember her response? Let's play this clip.
Clearly, Trump has still got a Nikki Haley problem. Why hasn't Haley come out and actually endorsed Trump yet?
I would disagree with you on that, Rob. I don't think there's a alleged Nikki Haley problem. Again, a lot of these
I'm just basing that on what we saw in Pennsylvania. 17% is a significant percentage of the vote in Pennsylvania for Nikki Haley.
And we covered the Pennsylvania closed Republican primary results here. And what we're seeing over and over again is that people are craving normalcy. People are craving democracy, and they know the threat that Donald Trump poses. Take, for example, this recent interview that was just given by the former Republican Lieutenant Governor of Georgia, Jeff Duncan. And here's what he had to say about Republicans not voting for Trump. Play this clip.
I think Georgians are going to vote against Donald Trump, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you have to win the suburbs in Georgia if you're going to win an election. Brian Kemp proved that. He won the suburbs. He showed them that he was a job creator. He was an honest human being. He did the right thing when it counted the most. And Donald Trump's not done that. When these court cases play out on TV in the suburbs, specifically women in the suburbs are paying attention to these cases, there's not a single one of them that's going, oh, you know what? I've changed my mind on this Donald Trump guy. He's just a fantastic human being. He's a perfect leader for our country. It's just not happening. And so I think as we get closer and closer to November, this election is going to pull further and further away from Donald Trump. And therefore, Joe Biden will end up walking away with this election.
And here's what the former Republican conservative lieutenant governor, real conservative, said about decency and the importance of decency being on the ballot. Play this clip.
I mean, you've called out Mitch McConnell, you've called out New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu, you've called out Bill Barr for all supporting Trump. Now, they all say, look, it's because of the policy. Now, you have proposed that perhaps Republicans can vote down the rest of the ballot as Republicans to try to block Biden's legislative agenda, but then still vote for Biden as the top of that ticket. But wouldn't that mean that nothing will really get done in Washington for 4 years if that's the follow?
Does anybody think anything's going to get done if Donald Trump's the president? I mean, all he's going to do is go on this vendetta tour around the world. There's nothing that's going to be done. In fact, I would argue there would be more damage done. Look, the play for a conservative like me that cares about the future of this country is to build the necessary majorities in the Congress so that we can have a meaningful checks and balance system if Joe Biden's the president. And look, I've said this in the op-ed. I'm voting for a decent person that I disagree with on policies over a criminal defendant who has no moral compass. And that's not tough to argue, right? Those are proven facts.
Here's one more clip of Jeff Duncan, because I think he says it perfectly here. Play this clip.
He simply wants the position of president to be powerful. And he's willing to lie, cheat, and steal for it. And if we're going to fix this party and go forward, the party that is conservative but not crazy and angry, we've got to do it without Donald Trump.
Let me just share for you a quick montage of some Nikki Haley voters saying that they are going to vote for President Biden over Donald Trump. This has been a consistent theme in the various primaries that we've seen. Take a look at this montage that was compiled. Play this clip.
I know who I'm not going to vote for.
Who are you?
I will not vote for Donald Trump. I can't associate myself with the Republican Party under Donald Trump. I agree wholeheartedly. The Trump we're seeing now is a completely different Trump than Trump of 2016 and even 2020. He's running a campaign strictly for revenge. I think he poses a clear threat to our democracy, our institution.
You had voted for Trump in the past, though.
Yes.
What was it that turned you away?
2016 Trump, 2020 Trump, 2024 Trump are very different people.
What's different about 2024 Trump?
A lot of people that have worked for him in the past say they won't come back. Obviously, January 6th happened. A lot of indictments have happened. And to be honest with you, I don't know that he wants my vote. Or those of us that supported Nikki Haley has been pretty clear.
Anything but Trump.
That was your priority?
That's my priority.
Is that the biggest reason you supported Nikki Haley?
Yeah, I'd say.
Because of Donald Trump?
Yes, yeah.
I would vote for Joe Biden over Donald Trump in a heartbeat.
Republican, I am. What do you do when that is in? If he is the nominee and it's he and Joe Biden, what do you do?
I vote for Joe Biden.
Hi, Nikki Haley.
I think Donald Trump is a threat to the well-being of our country.
She drops out. Would you be disappointed if she endorsed Trump?
She does. I'll vote Democrat.
No.
That's all there is to it.
It's important to me to keep Trump out of office again. Project 2025, I've read it, I've studied it. It's scary, it's frightening.
I've lived in a constitutional democracy all my life. I want to remain that way, and I want my grandchildren to grow up in one, not a dictatorship.
And I'm curious, over the last two elections, have you voted Trump in the past? Was it something where you voted for him, you trusted him, and you were disappointed?
Yes, I voted for him in 2016. I am a registered Republican, and I regretted that vote almost immediately.
So, folks, once again, we're seeing this statistically significant data. By the way, in this recent Pennsylvania interview that Donald Trump gave, he talked about how he wants states to monitor women's pregnancies. Here, play this clip.
Running that say that you would support certain states with bans monitoring a woman's pregnancy.
Well, that would be up to the states. Again, they will make a decision as to how they do it.
Trump is bragging about canceling Roe v. Wade. Play the clip.
They've tried to cancel Roe v. Wade for many years. And for most of that time, the whole thing was they wanted it back in the hands of the states so the people in the states could vote. And that's what's happened, and it's working out quite well, actually.
And then there's just the outright weird stuff that Donald Trump does, like when he holds these private fundraisers. Here's some leaked video footage of Donald Trump bragging about how he can do math. Play the clip.
Out there that could have done it, but they also asked other questions. They say 2,347 and 2,913 divided by 2, multiply times 4, divide again by 7, multiply it by 9, right? What's your answer? And I got it right.
You're a genius.
Enough is enough, folks. I think we're seeing a major realignment of voters right now, and not what the media is talking about. I'm talking about what the data is reflecting. Focus on the actual data coming in from states like Indiana, where once again, we can report right now that Nikki Haley's gaining about 22% of the vote as of now, over 100,000 votes, 106, 109, 110,000 votes. We'll see where that number lands, but another disastrous primary for Donald Trump. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3 million subscribers thanks to your support. Thank you for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.